What's going on, lads and lasses? Massive two games coming up in the next few days. Newcastle, of course, taking on Wolves tomorrow, which there will be a preview towards the back end of the video on this one. And, of course, Newcastle also taking on Bournemouth, of course, on Saturday. Coming two home games, two massive home games. And if Newcastle can win them, then we will break a record that was set back in 1994 and then matched again in 2016. Of course, and that would be a massive achievement by Eddie Howe and the lads. But before we get into, of course, talking about the preview for the game against Wolves tomorrow, 7:30 at St James's Park, of course, there is some news to talk about on the transfer side of things, and of course, some updates with players as well. First off, let's get into talking about the updates of the players, then we'll talk about the transfers, and then, of course, the preview. So, it has come out that Harvey will be out for a month after picking up an injury, of course, on Sunday in the FA Cup. Not great at all when you consider, you look at what we've got in the team in the wing department, and it just doesn't look good. Obviously, the talk as well of Almiron moving away from Newcastle United, does that now mean that Almiron will stay in Newcastle United now because Harvey Barnes is going to be out for a month? To be honest, that just doesn't look good. I thought, this is the time now where we do move Almiron on. He didn't really add much to the team on Sunday. When he did come on, he looked pretty out of place in the team as well. So, it is a little bit of a worrying thing that, Harvey Barnes is now going to be out for a month, to be honest. So, we'll have to see what happens with that one. Obviously, Murphy's still firing forward as well. So we've just got to hope that, Murphy can keep doing that. Fingers crossed he does. Keep putting in them performances forward. And, of course, we do need to be looking at bringing in some players in this window. I don't want to be a negative Nelly on this one at the end of the day. But I do think we do need to be looking at bringing in some, recruitments to help improve the squad a little bit as well. We definitely need to be looking at bringing in a winger, bringing in that right-sided centre-back as well, that we'll try to bring in at the beginning of the season, of course, when we're looking at Mark Gurhey for quite a while. But at this moment in time, there's nothing quite yet on that, apart from some rumours circulating around that we're looking at Tomori of AC Milan for that right-sided centre-back role. Obviously, other talks as well of some wingers and that we've been looking at as well. But on the transfer side of things, there has been reports today, according to reports in Turkey, that Lloyd Kelly could be on the move. This, I think, would be a really good move, to be honest, when you look at it, because we signed him on a freebie, and the amount that is being quoted at the moment seems to be quite a decent amount of money. So it would be a quick flip. Obviously, the club being linked with him as well is Fenerbahce, of course. So it is Jose Mourinho's side. But could this be, genuine interest from Fenerbahce, or are they trying to use tactical mind games with Aston Villa because they were after Diego Carlos in Aston Villa? So is this maybe genuine interest or just tactical mind games in the fact that, they may be saying, well, we'll go and put interest in for Lloyd Kelly, and then, Aston Villa drop their guard and, let them buy Diego Carlos. Obviously, a player that Newcastle were linked with in the past as well, Diego Carlos. But, we'll see what happens. The positive about this would be as well the fact that Lloyd Kelly is rumoured to be on a jaw dropping 150k a week, which isn't great. I didn't think he was on that much money, to be honest, and that is quite a bit chunk of wages right there that at the moment isn't really being used. Lloyd Kelly isn't really getting the minutes in the team, and of course when he played in the game on Sunday, he didn't really look all that impressive, to be honest. And yes, obviously he's not getting the minutes, so that does mean that he's not going to be able to get his chance really to, show himself into the team if you will. But with that kind of salary, it can't be having a player like that sitting on the bench. So that's definitely something that needs to be looked into. I think we will be, taking that interest, if it is genuine, into having a good hard look at it, because that is a really good deal if we can get it done. And Lloyd Kelly moving on, and of course then a chance for us to be able to bring in a right-sided centre-back as well. But let's talk about, of course, the game tomorrow against Wolves. Now, this is a chance, like I said, if Newcastle United, of course, can get the win, then we will, of course, be equaling a record that was set back in 1994 by Kevin Keegan, and then, of course, matched again in 2016. So this would be a massive achievement for Eddie Howe and the lads if they were able to do it. And then if they could go one more, and of course continue this win streak that we are on, of course, and get a win on Saturday as well, we would better that club record, which would be even better again for it. It would be an even bigger achievement by Eddie Howe and the lads. At the moment, we are absolutely firing on all cylinders. Isak as well is in some absolutely amazing form at the moment. He's bidden to score in his 8th consecutive Premier League appearance, a potential new club record, of course, as he's currently tied with Shearer and Joe Willock at 7 games, which is the current record at the moment in Newcastle United. And if he continues, of course, past the 8 consecutive Premier League goals as well, then he's got every chance to beat the record for the most PL matches scoring a goal, which was set, of course, by Jamie Vardy during Leicester's Premier League winning season. Of course, when Vardy set the record on the 29th of August 2015 to the 28th of November 2015 at 11 goals. So Isak's not that far off breaking that record if he can just keep putting in these performances that he is putting in at the moment. And I've got to say, this is going to be a really interesting game. Obviously, Wolves aren't the greatest on the road this season, but they do have a new manager in Victor Pereira, who has been doing some really good stuff with them since coming in. Of course, he's only lost just one of his first 5 games in charge of Wolves, so it's going to be an interesting one there, because he seems to be doing a little bit better than Gary O'Neill was doing with Wolves. And of course, there is the return of Matthias Cunha, of course, back to the side as well after his suspension due to, of course, the incident after the Ipswich game where he pulled the guy's glasses off. I've got to say, it's going to be an interesting game. Hopefully, we can see our lads pick up all 3 points tomorrow night. 7:30 kickoff live on TNT Sport. And I am going to go with the score prediction of Newcastle United to come away from this one 3-1 winners. Let us know your thoughts on everything said in this video today. Do you think, Lloyd Kelly will be making that move to Fenerbahce? Do you think it's genuine interest, or do you think it's just a little bit of tactical mind games by Jose Mourinho and Fenerbahce to get Aston Villa to drop their guards so they can get Diego Carlos from them? Let us know down in the comments below, and let us know your thoughts, of course, on what I was saying as well about Harvey Barnes and Almiron. Do you think this now means that Almiron will stay for the remainder of this season, with, of course, Barnes being out for that month? Or do you think, we'll still try to move Almiron on? Let us know down in the comments below. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and how are the lads?